Salut, and welcome back to another episode. This is episode 2 of the BIB series. This video will cover the first month of living in Belgium. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you enjoy. Let's go. One of the things I was worried about was starting school, because I don't know what to expect when going to school in a different country. I already graduated, so I kind of had no ambitions for going back to school. I knew I had to go to school because of Rotary, but I felt like it wasn't the biggest deal in the world. Luckily, the first day, my host mom went with me, and I remember looking at the school and being where are all the classrooms? It's one 6-foot tall building. First day, when I walked into the classroom, escorted, whoa, by one of the English teachers, I looked around the classroom and was like, these kids look normal. But they were also kind of intimidating. I mean, maybe it's just me walking into another classroom that I was like, okay, well, they're all just staring at me. But it makes sense because I was an exchange student and it was the first day. All these guys have known each other for 5 years, and I just walk in. I remember I sat next to someone and I think they were trying to speak English but also trying to speak French. So it's kind of confusing. Since I was only there for 9 days, it was just funny to me. The schedule is so confusing. I don't know why. The first week or two, in school, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just following anyone I could around, assuming that they had the same classes as me. I didn't get a schedule until the end of a week, but then one of the teachers told me that it was literally just gonna change the next week. So I was like, oh, okay. It's the same amount of time as school in America, going from 8:30 to about 4. But the schedule was weird because they wouldn't have the same classes every single day. And in America, at my school at least, we have the same 4 classes every single day for an hour and a half, and then it'll change after Christmas break. Here, not so much. I had my first Rotary meeting. We went to a town that I think was about 30 minutes away to an hour, and when we drove in, it was just like a normal farm, and I thought we were lost for a sec. I was like, there's no way it's here. A farm with cows everywhere. When I got there, I was introduced to a few people. I got to see my counselor and my officer. I met someone there who was planning on doing an exchange year next year. So it was really cool to kind of just see oh, there are other people interested after me. I think the meeting was kind of long for no reason. I mean, it was cool because we had the appetizers and then we had drinks and then we were gonna have dinner and then dessert. And the food was good. I talked to this guy who has been on the east side in the US and was like, oh yeah, it's super cool. And I told him I'm from California and I'm pretty sure he hasn't been there. It's funny to me, and he's like, oh, in 3 months we'll be having full conversations. I'm like, whoa, I just got here. let's calm down. Belgium is really big for their cheeses, and so there's a line of cheeses just on a table, and I told myself I should probably try them. So then what I did is I took a lot of the cheeses and then I would taste them, line them up on my plate in order of favorite to least favorite, and then I showed my host parents. They kind of thought it was funny. So it's going back to school. I chose to do the sport option. It's where you have a recreational sport, and then you'll swim, and then you'll run, and then you'll do gymnastics. A month in, I can tell you I enjoy the recreational sport and gymnastics the most. Swimming, it's something else. It's actually funny because I thought that I was a decent swimmer because swim in lakes for scouts. I swam across an entire lake just for fun. But the kids in my class, which they'll probably see this, the kids in my class kind of go crazy at swimming. They're fast. And gymnastics, they're all very strong. It's really impressive. So I'm excited to work with them. And I can't smack talk them too much because I know some of them watch the videos. So another cool thing is that my host family scheduled a dinner with all of my other Rotarian families. My counselor was like, whoa, we've never done this before. So I got to meet all my parents. They're all super cool and super nice. And then I got to meet all my siblings. And it's funny the age range, and it's also funny that they're all brothers. I grew up with only one sister and no brothers, and so having only brothers is gonna be a very interesting experience to say the least. At the dinner, I was talking with a few of them. They complimented me on my French, which was hilarious. At some point, all the kids went outside and we started playing soccer, which they all mostly knew each other. And so it's just cool to see them interact and see how crazy they all are at soccer. We had hamburgers and that was good. And then of course we played Clash Royale after. I mean, you can't not play Clash Royale. Like you can't not play it. It's like a must. I played against one of my host brothers and I lost and then I won. So then we're gonna have to play again and see who wins. I think the second week into school was kind of one of the hardest weeks I've had because I did leg day in the gym, and then on the Tuesday I had swimming, I had volleyball, and then I just had a sore throat and runny nose. I got sick. And so I was just like, whoa. Like my whole body was hurting from my pinky toe all the way up to my freaking nose and head. I wanted to play volleyball while away because it's one of my biggest passions. And I'm so grateful that my host mom looked for places for me to play volleyball. She found a co-ed program. Since I'm 18, I can't play, in other sections with kids in it. So she found a co-ed program with adults. The first thing that they were saying to me is, oh, if you don't want to play, you don't have to play. They're like, we know we're bad and stuff, but they weren't horrible. they weren't like the worst. They're all super nice. I know they want to get better. Like some of them started asking me like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I know later on in the season that, I can explain it better when I can speak better French. We had our first game this past month and we won, thankfully. Oh my God, I was so scared. I didn't know if we were doing like 5 sets or 3 sets. We won and then we lost and then we won. And then I thought it was over and then we played another set. So, that told me that we're going to 5. They were a really fun team to play against. I also got to play play middle, which I've never played before. And I know in high school, I would ask coach or try to play middle because I think I would be a good middle because I'm loud and, energetic. Dude, it's hard. It's a hard position for no reason whatsoever. They didn't need me to be a setter because they already have to. They offered do you want to hit or do you want to pass? I said, I don't care. And they put me as hitter and it was pretty fun. Being left-handed while being a middle is harder than you would think because, you're tracking the ball, and if your setter sets it to your right hand like they're supposed to for, a normal middle, then it's easy. But if you're left-handed, it kind of makes it hard. Another worry I had was that if I could swing super hard at the ball and kill the ball, or if I had to go lighter because I'm just younger and I don't know where I was going with that. But if I could hit the ball really hard, without breaking my back. At the end, they put out snacks and drinks and stuff and we just talk and have fun. But I was super tired because I was just getting back from sickness a little bit and just a really long day that I was like, can I just go home? And they're like, oh yeah, the next game. They were very nice about it. Talking to one of the guys on the other team, he was like, oh yeah, you should join our team. I was like, I'm already on the team. Sorry, bud. Can't be doing that. I'm loyal. Wakanda forever. Yeah. When he asked me to join his team, it was hilarious because he's from a club that I don't think is pretty far away, and it'd just be really challenging. So even if I wanted to, it's just not possible. Another cool adventure that I went on was going to a flea market. I forgot the word in French, but it'll be on the screen. And you can have a crack at trying to pronounce it if you want. I was looking around. I kind of wanted to buy more clothes because, I mean, I have clothes here, but you know, not as much as I felt comfortable having, I guess. And so I looked around. I wanted like a biker jacket because one of my friends has like, they bought this like super cool jacket that I kind of wish I had. So I was kind of looking for something like that and never found it, but that's okay. One of the things that I did buy was perfume. Say it with me now. Ooh. Ah. I've never bought perfume before, so you know, we're gonna be out there smelling good. Yeah. I also bought a few pins. I saw pins and I wanted to buy them for my blazers, so that's exactly what I did. I bought 3 pins. If you can find them, I'll give you a prize. I'll give you a hint. They're on the right side. So I thought it was pretty cool to buy those pins because they weren't that expensive. They of course had burgers and fries, so I decided to have a burger and some fries, and I had a few drinks. Did not have a few drinks. I walked around with a few people. They're really nice and kind of spoke like English and French like back to each other, and they were just super supportive, and they were friends of my family here, and they're friends of my host brother. Going from a flea market to a shopping mall is actually crazy, and here's why. I went to the big shopping mall in Charleroi with my host brother. When I went shopping, I didn't really know what I was looking for, but then my host brother brought me to a few different stores to pick out some clothes, and then he said I can just try them on and see. So I picked some pretty cool pants, I ain't gonna lie, because my whole goal of coming here was to like change my style up, because I'm not a big shopper, and I wasn't a big shopper in America, so it's kind of gave me freedom here, because I know that no one really knows who I am, so they don't know like how atrocious my style was. But watch yourself. You know who you are, you better watch yourself. Just wanted to change my style a little bit, so I bought a few pullovers, because that's kind of the style here. All my clothes, I can tell, are very American, and some like the sweatshirts that I have are very not stylish here. So I bought a few sweatshirts and pullovers and some pants and a cool shirt that I really like. One of the trips that I went on with my host family and some of my host cousins is we went biking on electric bikes around a lake that's here in Belgium. Top tier. It was really cool. They had like a little like thing, but you know, without the So what you did is you just stood there and you just pressed the thing, and it had 5 or 4 different modes that you could just speed up. It went up to 27 kilometers per hour. If you're American, that sucks for you, because I don't know if you can convert it in your head, but fast. You can think of me as like the next Lightning McQueen. It was very sensitive, so I was worried that I was gonna fall off, and I'll be like here, I press it go like forward. I put my phone in like the front pocket because I knew that it'd be like a crazy shot to be like, you guys could be riding the scooter with me. But then this happened. So yeah, we're not gonna do that again for sure. I know I mentioned my fear of falling off, but I actually did fall off at the end. They have like practice courses where you just get the bike out, and I was going up a hill, and I remember it's like going up, and then the bike just started going while I was here. So I don't think I'm gonna be joining the Red Bull like pro team or Red Bull team with their cool tricks jumping off a mountain if I can't even handle a freaking hill that's like 2 feet tall. Time to talk about scouts. Scouts. Differences, but like similarities. The difference between the difference The differences is similarities between scouts from Europe and America, or at least Belgium and California. It's crazy. The uniforms are very different. I remember, if you don't know, in America you have some like strict uniforms that you have to wear. You know, you kind of get in trouble if you don't wear it correctly, but like here, nah. I wonder if they could wear like a Speedo and still be okay. That's a joke. Don't want to see that. For joke purposes. Please do not try at home. What's really cool, one of the big differences is that they have totem names. So each of them have, I'm assuming, a French name, but you know, it's a type of animal that describes them. And they asked me, they're like, what animal do you have? I don't got any. The meeting was like an all-day thing because they were trying to get things situated. They chose different leaders for the different age groups, which is another big difference because in California, we usually have like one kind of government, kind of a few who are in charge that will run the whole troop no matter what age. But then here we have different chiefs, is what they call them, different chiefs for each age group that will just lead the activities. I brought my neckerchief from my troop back in America to trade with them. They said they'll get me one later. It was just a little dirty, so hopefully I get mine soon. One of the events that they have here is marches based off like the past wars and stuff, I believe. And there was a march for the Grenadiers that were here from different towns, but usually it's just one. I went outside to go see them, and it was something else. I was living in the past, watching all these guys and girls in their costumes and seeing like little kids, like they were like some 6-year-olds or 7-year-olds. I was kind of confused seeing all the different, like those with axes, those with guns, those with water jugs, and seeing the different colors because I thought some of them didn't get the memo, but they're actually just from different villages and towns, so it made sense after it was obviously explained to me. Finally, one of the last like cool trips that I went on was actually with my school. We went to Fort Brendok. And it was just a cool experience seeing the fort and learning the history. I mean, the history's, you know, history's horrible, but seeing how they lived and seeing what they did was really intriguing. The guy spoke French, the tour guide spoke French, so it was, you know, hard to understand. And I kind of zoned out like halfway through, and every time I saw a word I recognized, I was like, oh, I recognize that word, oh my god. After going to Fort Brendok, we went to UC Leuven, the one in Wallonie, because it's New Leuven, because there's one in the Flanders part of Belgium, but they wanted one in the Wallonian area, so they built this one, and they built a city around it, which is actually really cool. We went there because they were gonna give a speech to talk about what you're gonna do with the rest of your life. I mean, mostly obviously to my group and not me. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of tired, so I took a nap, and I feel like this is a reoccurring thing that happens because I know in the first video I mentioned I slept in the car, but I took like a 10-minute nap while listening to the guy talk. I didn't get caught. I got woken up because we took a break and we're going to the bathroom, so that was a good alarm. After we went to the library, it was not like a normal library, I guess, because it had like all the information for different majors. I found a section that talked specifically about what I wanted to do, so I read that, and one of the teachers came up to me and was like, do you really understand what's being said in there? And I was like, yeah, for the most part. On a serious note, I wanted to talk about if I've had any like big concerns about being over here, or for those who've been wondering if I'm feeling homesick or anything. So far, no. I've had a few experiences with when I was sick and I stayed home, there wasn't anything much to do, and so I kind of felt a little homesick. I've called my parents twice so far, and I haven't really gotten homesick except when they've showed me my dogs. I mean, it's really good to talk to them, and I know they're doing fine, and they miss me, and I miss them, and I miss all my friends and family, but I wanted to kind of live in the moment. I knew what I was signing up for, and it was just natural to me. I have the mindset of just living in the moment, and sometimes maybe I push down like feeling homesick to just be more in the moment and not let it ruin my mood. And I know for some people being away from home can be hard, and for others it's not as hard, but I think I found a good middle to where I can feel homesick, but then I will get out of feeling homesick because I can distract myself or realize what's happening in the moment and what fun I'm having.